It's bad boy, bitch.
Feels good to be back. I missed you. Relax your mind, let your conscience be free. You're now rolling with the sounds of the BBE. You know what time it is. Report to the dance floor. Talk to him.
Leaning on the wall, looking. I want to come be with me. You're the only one I wanna talk to, but I don't wanna rush. I'm here, and will you make me go? I see you, I hear me. I want you, come to me. I can be what you need.
Y'all remember this?
Oh, baby, I stand
This feel really good. Nice little joint right here.
Yeah, you know what time it is, nigga. Check this out. You know what it is, I'm back in the building. Security strap still stacking the millions. Stunt with a stallion, something Italian. Or maybe Puerto Rican, you can catch me in Paris. I'm in it to win it, I'm willing to carry the game. If you think I'm not, look at the carrots. Look at me, pop up clean up out of the phantom. The people go screaming like an opera anthem. Let's go. I did it before, do it again. I got it to blow, got it to spin. Flies before, cool as the wind. Got hits, go back like Juicy G. Yeah, shine the best in diamond necklaces. My extravagant taste style. They know I'm the shit, they wanna get next to him. She had to fit cause she wanna get next to him. Yeah, you know my name. You know my motherfucking name.
I see you, I hear you. Come to me, come to me. Standing there waiting. Get to know me, get to know me.
Yeah, anywhere I appear, they all stop and stare. Admire your body language, speaking loud and clear like. Don't stop. Let's rock. She been waiting, anticipating for oh so long, fantasizing wild thoughts of me coming on like. Let's rock. She digging my style, my swag, my sway, my swerve. My way with words, the boys observe for sure. You can't fault till my aura called. I make miracles like I walked on water. What you want, mama? Order. It's on my tab. I'm so bad with the cash, I drop a whole bag. Where you at, girl?
I'm here. When will you make your move? I see you, I hear me. I want you. Come to me. I can be what you need. I can be whatever, whenever. Get to know me, get to know me. Come show me, come show me. I'm here for you, and when no longer you were the one who stole my heart. Can't you see the way this over? I need you to come closer. This feeling is getting strong. You really got me. I see you, I see you. I want you to me. I can be what you need, whatever you need. Why don't you come in? Get to know me. Get to know me. You wanna know me?
Do it.
Come to me. I can be what you need. Oh baby.
That's how to make more things. Oh, yeah.
Do it. I like the way this one feels.
Relax your mind and
Y'all know what it is. Do it.
It's bad boy, bitch.
Woo! Hey, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, but that joint right there is definitely fly. That is definitely a fly little joint right there. And I must admit that. Gotta say. How's everybody doing today? Welcome. as you know, trying to get things started over here. Things are slow motion moving, and I don't know what we with certain things. But how's everybody doing over here anyway? I appreciate y'all coming back. I appreciate y'all coming back. Most definitely, I do. Much love as always. And as always, if you like the content, make sure you throw the five flames in the chat. And so today, right off the jump, we're gonna be getting to a few things. Few a couple. We're gonna be going over a few things I want to keep in mind. We're gonna start off with that, and of course, we're gonna be doing a little interjection part about things that drugs and alcohol, what they do and what they do to you, what they do to you or whatever. Not too much, not too much. We're not going into too much detail about that, just for commentary purposes only. We're gonna talk about the guy, David James, who testified in the trial, um, and how he partied and everything with P. Diddy, as we said, okay. Um, and we also gonna talk about maybe these arsenal charges too about Kid Cudi. Okay, so just a few things that we gonna go over. So right off back, I want to ask y'all: do y'all think that Don is really credible? I want y'all to be honest about this. You know what I mean? So please type your answers in the chat. Also, light a match to it, because you know what we do over here. It's good vibes only, and all is welcome. So, do y'all think Don is credible? And don't lie. I mean, hey, anybody, when I get ready to drop the link, anybody can come up and talk and speak on it and say what they got to say, speak their mind, or whatever however they feel. Okay? But in my opinion, personally, I don't think Don is credible. I really don't. See, Dawn, she claimed her memory improved over time. And that's what a lot of this has to do with, how it brought back a lot of her memories of things from the past and such and things like that. But as we know, as time moves on, that can cause a lack of memory where you don't remember everything detail for detail, So that's one of the things that's non-credible. How she was responding to the questioning, both sides, prosecution and the defense, how she said all of her answers and everything. We know that was not, something was wrong with that. As I went over all these few little things yesterday, but her memory could be allowing her to recall events happening or rejecting those thoughts because she did try so hard to forget them. Now, this is what she said. I'm not making this up. I didn't write this down in my own words. I promise you, right hand up to God. This is what she said while she was on the stand. Okay? Somebody, some things that was found in that Louis Vuitton bag in that room. One of them being Astroglide. I didn't Google it. I didn't look it up. Anybody feel free to want to look it up and tell me what the hell that is. I really didn't get all into that, and because that name, Astroglide, it sounds like something wet, slippery, something nasty, something that have to do with some stuff that's nasty that I really didn't want to, you know what I mean? So, but I know that they say they found ketamine in there. Now, just in case y'all don't know what ketamine is, Ketamine is a horse tranquilizer, also known as an anesthetic, which blocks out your sight, your sound, which makes you feel out of control. And it is also known, no, my bad. And also this other drug too, they found in the bag. No, let me see how I can say this. How to say this word? Calamaz, calamazepine. Calamazepine. Okay. Now this drug causes hallucinations, leaving the person disconnected, and they use it for your. They use it sometimes for your muscles, seizures, and more. It's just more sedated drugs. You know what I mean? And it also causes panic attacks and spasms. That sounds like some crazy shit. Now, you know, I'm not. Hey, I'm not trying to be funny here, but y'all tell me, what the fuck does that have to do with sex or making love? I'm not crazy, but what does that have to do with sex and making love? Or even so much as throwing freak offs? Maybe it's something that we don't know, or I don't know personally. I never heard of. Like I say, you know, y'all can Google this stuff and but type it in the chat, please. Let me know, because I'm confused a little bit here. Now we also know that doing drugs and alcohol, of course, you know that I want people to understand. When you doing drugs and alcohol and you kicking it and you partying, hanging out with a person or whatever, I know we like to, as fellas, we like to get into the mood of things, get in the swing of things, and some females too. But you must remember, as a gentleman, and especially if you're a goddamn celebrity, remember that drugs and alcohol removes the consent to legally have sex. So them claiming that P. Diddy was bipolar, and which could have probably caused him doing drugs, which probably could have caused him, lack of memory, or have him to act out the way that he was acting out during this time, putting his hands on Cassie, not remembering this, not remember that, whatever. That doesn't make him innocent. Again, I repeat, I'm not here to advocate for the man. I'm just telling you how it is, okay? Because we got to keep in mind, there's a difference between a fact and the truth, in my opinion. It is, okay? Because, okay, a fact may have some truth, okay? Some truth, but a fact is not, you know, the truth is the truth, which you may not know everything about the truth still. You know what I mean? You just may not know everything. Britalia. What's good with it, Britalia? How you been? All right. They also mentioned that it was some photos being taken by this young lady named Regina. Now, Regina, she's another lady that Diddy was dating during the same time he was dating this young lady, Cassie, and he was also dating Kim Porter. Okay? As I'm understanding, Regina was the youngest one out of all of them. Okay? This is what I'm saying, right? But she took pictures of the injuries of Cassie back in the injuries were from 2009 to 2011, and they were shown yesterday at court. Okay. Now, everybody keeps this big old uproar about this damn 2016 tape. You know, I understand that there was domestic violence on there. Okay, that's not a problem. I get that. But that tape, I still say that tape is questionable, especially when it comes to the conspiracy and racketeering charges, and even some of the trafficking. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you why. But first we're gonna watch this little clip that we got. Okay. First, we're gonna watch this little clip. Oh my God, what happened to the god dang on? Okay, hold on, y'all. Give me a second. Let me load it back up. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Let me load it back up, y'all. Y'all know how this. Y'all know how this shit be. This YouTube don't be liking us. They be hating on us about a lot of things. For some odd reason. But we gonna get it. We gonna get it to go. We gonna get it to go. Okay.
Erupted in bombshell testimony Tuesday. Claims of hush money for parents. Moments from day 7 of testimony. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Hey everybody, this is another Law and Crime legal alert. If you received Depo-Provera birth control shots and were later diagnosed with a brain or spinal tumor,
30th birthday. And so Regina had traveled from Connecticut like to look at, and essentially it's just kind of like gossip about celebrities, but they don't necessarily use the names, and it's just ways to kind of get in gossip that sometimes can be true, sometimes it's a little fabricated, a little over the top. But I see getting beaten in a car by Diddy, and then privately an exhibit photo was shown of somebody named Mia, somebody that previously had worked for Diddy. This was shown privately, so we in the gallery, and I don't even believe that the jurors even saw this photo. But as far as just the photos that we did see today in court, it was just more of those bruised photos, more of the photos that Cassie again had bruises on her body. She was posing for her mom, and her mom kind of kept these photos, I guess, kind of as a way for instances, possibly kind of like this one, where just if something were to happen, they have these photos to kind of corroborate Cassie's stories. But some of were different photos that we had seen earlier in the days of testimony, and then some of them were about everything that
Regina has done against Cassandra Ventura. I mean, even the defense seems to concede that there was domestic violence, but you couple the photographs, the testimony, both of Cassandra Ventura, 2016 tape that she was physically, is that racketeering?
Now, now let me throw this out here too. If I can remember, they didn't cross-examine this young lady Gina. And really, to be honest with y'all, just to put the truth out there, put facts out there, I believe that they really holding that they gonna bring Gina back in on due to another, to bring back up some things. You know what I'm saying? To prove some kind of like other points or whatever. So I believe that's the reason why they didn't cross-examine her, because it's something to that. Because why would they not cross-examine her? And she had very factual and reliable evidence to this case, to this trial, period. So hold on, let's keep going for a second.
That's a separate legal question. Now, did she also testify about a phone incident? If so, what's that about?
Yeah, so the phone incident just happened about 5 years later from the 2011 incident. So that means 11 plus 5, 2016. And so around this time was Cassie's 30th birthday. And so Regina had traveled from Connecticut to Los Angeles at the time where Cassie was living on the West Coast to essentially celebrate her daughter's birthday. And so, but what ended up happening was that Regina actually called the police. Why did she call the police? Because Diddy had taken Cassie's phone. Regina got upset about this whole incident. So she just immediately called the police after Cassie had told her about what happened. So what ended up happening on Regina's end is she got into an argument with Diddy. Regina had referred to him as his government name, that being Damian Butler, as opposed to D-Rock, the name that a lot of people have used while they've been testifying throughout this trial. And during this, D-Rock was kind of being the middleman in all of this, essentially trying to possibly de-escalate the situation, or at least at the bare minimum, just trying to protect Diddy against from the wrath of Regina, because Regina said that while this was happening, that Diddy was holding Cassie's phone. D-Rock was in the middle of it, trying to kind of break up everything, and that Regina was admitting that she was trying to hit Diddy during this, because that's how essentially furious that she was. And so what ended up happening is that Diddy later gave Regina Cassie's phone back, but then what he ended up doing was taking Cassie's car instead. And so I think this kind of played into the prosecution's argument that, you know, if something were to happen, that Diddy would take things away from Cassie, such as her phone in one instance, such as her car in another instance. And so Regina said essentially that they ended up still celebrating Cassie's birthday around this time frame. But the thing is that Diddy wasn't there. So there was no Diddy at this birthday celebration or anything like that, especially after kind of the events that occurred. And even just looking at this time frame, this August 2016 was just a few months after the hotel incident that happened at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles. And so I think what the prosecution was doing.
So basically, right? So this incident did get reported now. As y'all hear that. So this got reported because young lady Gina, she did call the police, right? Now, why wasn't there a follow-up done at that point of given time right there? Did he pay the people out, the police officers off? Where's the police is in question or whatever? Why they not here doing this trial? You know what I'm saying? This is one of the things that I think that the defense should be looking into and should be asking questions about. Because where are these polices that did this so-called following up where these things were reported? Because Gina, if she recalled, she called on her own. And how did he have time enough to take her phone away from her, give it back, then turn around and take her car and everything? And he had to have help. I won't deny that part. But how's all this going on? And it got reported and no follow-up, nothing done. Let's go to it though. Let's see.
Was again trying to kind of drive home the point that if something were to happen, if Diddy didn't like something, that essentially he would take things away from Cassie. Sometimes her phone, again, sometimes her car. But again, at the end of the day, Regina kind of went into mama bear mode while she was even on the stand for the most part today, Jesse. She appeared very honest. She appeared like a compelling witness, kind of verifying some of the things that her daughter had said while on the witness stand just last week. And so I thought her testimony was possibly very powerful, especially kind of talking about how she didn't know about the physical violence that she endured by Diddy, or even just some of the things that she may have witnessed, for example, this phone incident that happened in August of 2016. And so I found her to be a very compelling witness. She appeared forthcoming while she was on the stand, again, even admitting that she at one point was so mad that she even tried to hit Diddy at that time. And so, yeah, I think she made for a very compelling witness while on the witness stand. And I know you might ask me a little bit about cross coming up, but unfortunately, everyone, there was no cross-examination. Probably a good move by the defense, because what questions was asking a Sims mom, you know what I mean?
Throw the fire flags in the chat. Did I hear this well, or am I crazy? See, there was no cross-examination. You see what I'm saying? That's the part that's pretty sneaky to me, and that's what make me think that this stuff that this will be brought back up, that Gina, this young lady will be brought back up. And that's the reason why. I really do. And that's just an assumption, but I'd say it's a very damn good assumption though. When y'all, because I can't see them being done with that right there. If she's so compelling. And see, the problem is with a lot of these testimonies, these people, these witnesses, they're always, it's like they telling their stories, and they get to that point of almost telling the whole thing, and then they leaving something out or something. You know what I mean? Especially with the situation with the Kid Cudi, which we're gonna be getting to. We're gonna be getting to it soon. Okay? Let me listen to a couple of more seconds of this.
Yeah, I think they were probably of the opinion either they're not going to deny what she's saying, right? They've accepted a lot of this alleged violence, saying it's domestic violence, but doesn't amount to a federal crime, or they're of the opinion if we cross-examine her in such a way, perhaps it could turn the jury against us. And there's nothing we can gain from cross-examining, she had to say. So very strategic for them not to cross-examine her, but important witness nonetheless. Not the only important witness who took the stand. I understand that a man named Sheree Hayes took the stand, who goes
trying to kind of drive the point that
Okay. Now, y'all heard that. Okay. Now I want to also talk about okay, by the way, that guy that y'all just say he was the Sheree Hayes, he was one of the guys that was one of the exotic dancers. You know, they got a book out about him called Frozen Meat, some shit like that or whatever. It's crazy. Yeah, it means exactly what y'all thinking it possibly mean. Okay. But this guy, you got this other guy named David James that testified, right? Who was around from 2007 to 2009. He was also this guy, David James. So he was required to bring a medicine bag to the room for the freak offs that he was during his couple of years that he was there. And he was also asked to bring things such as perk pills, Viagra, X. Of course, the pills were to increase his sperm counts. Then he would be reimbursed. Then his money would be reimbursed. Now he would buy these things with his own money and everything. And this is one of the things that I find very bizarre about this situation. He would buy with his own money, and then he would get reimbursed. And I'm trying to figure out how they trying to use that? And there's no proof, right? Okay. So also he would bring condoms, lube, that word again, that Astroglide. Okay, so they were all paid for with a Bad Boy Entertainment credit card, allegedly. Now, if he paid for those things with a Bad Boy Entertainment credit card, there's your paper trail right there. And then he was reimbursed. Okay? Now, that's what they're saying. He also wasn't just setting up the rooms for Diddy and Cassie, but for other girls. So he was doing this quite often. Not periodically. He was doing this quite often. So how David James partied freely with Diddy. That's the crazy part. He did this on his own. They allowed him to do it. He bought sex toys and all these drugs in and things like that. He did it originally. He did it. Well, at one point they were saying he did. Okay, so but now they're saying that he did it with a Bad Boy Entertainment car. I can't really see that really happening, but this is what's said, right? We can't take away what was said. Let me go to. Hold on. Let me see if we can find something. Let me see if we can find what they're saying about this part.
That he wasn't under the influence of doing anything while this was kind of going down, that this was intentional. The witness stand, Xavier Donaldson was like, so you believe.
Okay, let me see if we can go. Let me see if we can find this little part.
In Diddy's employment.
Having some sort of footage of him.
This
I
the
don't know,
guy
maybe as a
David
way to
James.
blackmail him, intimidate him. Again, important characteristics, elements to talking about Sean Combs' alleged criminal empire and getting people to do what he wanted. What did we learn about that?
Yeah, so David James, when he's inside that courtroom, he appears just kind of very just straight and narrow, appears very honest and forthcoming, and he seems like he took his job as a personal assistant to Diddy very seriously, like he takes his other jobs. And so he admitted that during his time under Diddy's employment, that at one point he had taken drugs like ecstasy. And this was during a New Year's Eve party. He says that during this time.
Who know the name of what they call this extravaganza thing that they got going on at these freak off parties that they do at these hotel rooms with Diddy and Cassie? Type it in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, I'll tell it to you. Okay?
He normally doesn't partake in drugs or necessarily alcohol, but during this particular New Year's Eve party, he was vibing, he was enjoying himself, something that they refer to as Diddy bopping a little bit. There was light laughter in the courtroom kind of during this part of the testimony that David James was talking about how he was drinking Ciroc. Again, this being a New Year's Eve party, they were all enjoying themselves. But he says the day after, Diddy was reviewing this footage because, you know, we have to think about Diddy during this time frame. He's a very high profile person, and that he had a videographer there at this New Year's Eve party, and this videographer filmed the entire party. So the next day, Diddy was
Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button for me, please. I'm trying to keep everything in the algorithm, so make sure y'all hit that like button.
Viewing this footage by the videographer, and this is what David James said that Diddy had told him. I want to keep the footage in at the time that this was happening, that this was kind of a joke and jest. From what David James had said on the stand, he kind of took this, that this might possibly be a threat. But from my understanding, I'm just kind of like, how could it be a threat if you're just like vibing and enjoying yourself? You're not being inappropriate or anything like that. But again, David James kind of took heed to this statement that Diddy had allegedly made to him, and thought that this should be taken as a threat and taken very seriously. So that was definitely a point that they had talked about during his testimony this morning.
Did he also talk about security measures?
Okay, now he also, what I also noticed during this time of this little interview thing right here, they also said that David James had to take a lie detector too, his first year of the job, for some items that had come up missing during this time with Diddy. That first year, some things came up missing, like some watches, some very expensive watches and things like that, and some more. It was some more stuff that came up missing. They also said something too about how he rode to a place called Mel's Diner, him and this guy named D-Rock, and they ran into, and then they say that they ran into Suge Knight. But hold on, before we get into that part, hold on.
That in specific procedures that Combs' security team took, which again, very important to understand who Combs surrounded himself with, who he relied on, what were actions, if you take the allegations as true, that this criminal enterprise engaged in. So what about security measures?
Yeah, so some of the security measures even included having employees take lie detector test. So, for example, there was a time frame, he couldn't remember what point it was at what year, from 2007 to 2009, but a Cartier bracelet went missing. And for those who don't know Cartier, Cartier is very, very expensive, something I definitely cannot afford it right now. But David James says that he was at a hotel. He got a knock on the door. The knock was from Uncle Paulie, somebody who had worked security for Diddy. And that security essentially went through all of David James's belongings, and that he felt like he couldn't tell Uncle Paulie no about going through his items, through his personal belongings. And David James had talked about how some of the other staff may have allegedly stolen, or at least that other items were stolen from Diddy during his time working with the then mogul. But he said that David James said that he had to take a lie detector actually twice while on the job. He said another instance is when cash went missing, that David James had to take a lie detector test during this. He said it happened in his first year of working for Diddy, and called the experience pretty intimidating. He again felt like he couldn't say no in order to continue to keep his job. Then he said a second time that he was up to a lie detector test that Diddy's watch was stolen, and he took another lie detector.
Damn, you just can't trust no motherfucking body, huh? That shit crazy.
Test at the same location. It was this big building that he described with somebody who had previously worked in law enforcement doing the lie detector test. Diddy wasn't inside the room when this lie detector test was administered or anything like that. It was literally David James and the administrator of the lie detector test. And he said the lie detector administrator per se noted that David James felt a little more nervous this second time around. And David James, while he was on the stand, says he did take some items from Diddy, but that they were bottles of Ciroc, a brand that Diddy has represented a number of times, as well as a pair of Sean John jeans, because he says that he was a huge fan of the brand, a huge fan of just the clothing line. And so he said that he had taken some Sean John jeans, but he said he never took the money or the watch, and he actually passed the lie detector test. But one thing I thought that was interesting is that Diddy hated when people had stole from him, which kind of makes sense a little bit, right, Jesse? You have a big, giant staff. You're a rich mogul at this time. A lot of people working, a lot of people coming in and out. Then your items are stolen.
Okay. Now,
James.
okay. Now this guy David James, during the time of cross-examination, right? Now he said he couldn't remember any questions from the morning that he was questioned by the prosecution, of course. So of course, then he figured how he gonna remember anything from far back as 2008. If he can't remember the questions that was asked to him in that morning, then how is he gonna remember anything from way back in 2008? Keep in mind, these guys older than these people older than me. Okay. Then there was some questions of redirecting from the prosecution, and check this out. Diddy told David James to never put his hands on a woman. Now imagine, with that seeing that damn tape, can y'all imagine Diddy even telling this man that and letting these words even come out of his mouth? Can y'all, this just don't even sound like Diddy do it when you look at this goddamn tape, because this is what they trying to paint him as. They trying to paint the man as a monster. And again, I'm not here to advocate for him. People are just so crazy. And taking this and they taking this mess so far now that, you know, someone posed a question and asked, weren't they kids at Diddy's parties? So you know what I told them? You know what I told these people? I told this person that said this. I said, if there was don't you think that if it was kids at a party like this that was a freak off, then there would be some type of child endangerment charges being involved here? people are just so ignorant to some of the stuff that they say come out their mouths and just to be gossiping and shit, right? That shit crazy. People are just so ignorant. And what's so and what and you know, I don't get this thing either, really, right? And what's so big about the $20,000 for this case when he returned it, the money. I mean, I get it. That's a trail, a money trail, okay? Paperwork. And he returned it to her 4 days later. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it. I just think it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? If he returned the money to her 4 days later, which is my opinion, I'm just saying. Okay, it's not like he stole the money from her or nothing like that or whatever, you know, but hey, though, but they want to use that, but the prosecution, they want to use that for an extortion charge. Only as building for racketeering. Of course, as y'all didn't know that, right? And only it just don't build them. It just don't build a lot to me. You know what I mean? It just doesn't build a lot for the racketeering. You know, I really don't think so, unless there was some type of threats attached to it. So I really think it's only speculation. You know what I mean? And there was a demand note to it that was basically clipped to it saying that, hey, you know, if you don't give me my money back, I'm gonna post these videos. Okay, I get that, but isn't it illegal to show those videos anyway and post them of sex trafficking and, you know, and then Cassie being in the video and she being the one who actually is doing the do in the video? Don't y'all think that's kind of strange? I mean, come on now, somebody tell me something. Talk to me. I just think that's kind of weird there. Make sure y'all hit that like button. So I'm not seeing the point on that. But, okay, this guy, Kid Cudi. Oh, okay, yeah. So he did testify after an email was sent from a threat about posting some videos and stuff, right? Okay, so we need to hear that. Okay, so we need to still. What I say? Oh yeah, we need to still hear the testimony from the person who set up the flight reservations to establish transportation. We gotta hear that. We have yet still haven't heard that. And just for the record, I can almost say my personal opinion, they are not going to be able to prove arson. Even if Kid Cudi testifies, because there's no substantial evidence being proven so far, meaning it's not no videos, it's not no photos, no personal, it's not really no personal threats recorded of a conversation, not anything of such. I'm just saying. Now, it was said that, okay, that Diddy went to Kid Cudi's career, right? Looking for Cassie, of course, right, or whatever. And he got there, the doors was open. Now, the cameras was cut off. Wasn't no cameras on. There was a dog there, and the door was open, was unlocked already or whatever, right? So, okay. So if the door is unlocked already, there's no actual break-in. But then again, you know, when you walk into somebody's house trespassing or whatever, they can still consider that as, you know, as a breaking and entering thing because you don't have no permission to even be there. Okay. But in the same token, okay, they saying that they locked the dog in the bathroom because Diddy had allegedly hurt the dog. So then they said that they Kid Cudi the dog sitter is the one who came and it was the one who called Kid Cudi and told him that Diddy was at the house or whatever, right? Now, so the dog, so okay, Kid Cudi, he found out that Diddy's at his crib, right? Now, people were thinking, how could Diddy cocktail his crib and walk on in there? Or did he do it on the way out? Whatever, right? Just to save face. Let's make it make sense, right? So they're saying that they don't believe that they believe that Diddy directed. Damn, what's that other young lady name? Damn, it slipped my mind that damn quick. But it's the other young lady. They believe that that Diddy directed her to throw the cocktail bomb inside of Kid Cudi's car, right? So all this is going on, and as I was thinking, I'm like, damn, if Diddy inside the crib, the dog is there. They lock the dog inside the bathroom, okay? But you mean to tell me the dog or nothing? Y'all didn't know that nobody else was outside at no point in given time when Diddy came in? It's a great possibility, might not. It's a possibility. I agree with that. But it just seemed unlikely to happen. And I don't think they got enough evidence to prove that Diddy even did this. And on top of that, check this out. They found out DNA on the cocktail bomb. And guess who DNA was? It was this young lady's. It was a young lady's DNA on that cocktail bomb. Not this young lady that I'm thinking, her name I'm thinking, but I stay correct. There was a lady's DNA though that they found on that cocktail bomb. But you still can't prove that Diddy directed this lady to do this. This is the thing that I have a problem with. Okay? So, therefore, in order for the prosecution to make this stick and make this arsenal charge really stick, you need three key elements, which are, okay, you need to prove that there was an existence of a criminal enterprise, not Diddy himself, but him and either somebody else and his business entities and stuff, right? Okay. Then the prosecutors have to prove the engagement of illegal acts, meaning sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, obstruction to justice. All they need to do really is prove two of those acts out of there, but they have to still prove it. Okay, I feel like I have to keep on repeating that though, because some of us will get confused. You know what I mean? So I think I have to keep repeating it. Okay, and number three, it has to be an existence of racketeering conspiracy, which means it has to have an agreement of others with that intent to commit at least two of these so-called predicate crimes, which are two underlying crimes that I just named. For example, using P. Diddy's business, including certain employees, to carry out and facilitate and cover up his acts of violence, abuse, and commercial sex. Therefore, we can't just say money because there were actual documents of the lawsuit and wiring of money. So we can't just say that, right? Ain't no way we could just say money. So that's just totally reserved. So that's out the question, right? So that still is not proven. Did he even though he was at the man's house, that is not proven that he actually did it. There's so many other key elements to that you have to prove to make sure that they even stick. Okay, so now it has to be 2 or more incidents happening within a 10-year span. Okay, 2 or more incidents within a 10-year span. So it doesn't. So with that doesn't mean that okay, within 10 years. You got one incident on one hand, this and that happened, and then you call in and say, hey, yo, I think P. Diddy, he did this and that to my house, right? And then you call in 5 or 6 years later, call the police and report it again and say, yo, I think P. Diddy did this and that to my house. No. That's not the way it goes. Those 2 incidents have to be corresponding with each other. So if P. Diddy stole something from your house, then the other act has to be something alleged to that's leading up to that. Okay, so it can't be just 2 different acts. It has to be 2 of the same thing. Okay, so the fire was in January. So the fire from Kid Cudi car, that was in January 20th of 2012. And like I said, the results of that fire came back that it was a female, not a male. Somebody lying in this here. Wouldn't y'all agree? Y'all don't think so? Make sure y'all hit that like button. Fire flames in the chat, please. Somebody got to be lying here. Right? I would like to think so. But hold on, let's check this clip out right quick. Let's go back to this clip before we get out of here. Okay?
Testimony. What did he say about Suge Knight and that whole incident?
Well, the entire incident is why he no longer works for Diddy or even works for Bad Boy at this time. And so this incident happened in the fall of 2008. At this time, they were coming back from the studio. Diddy wanted cheeseburgers. Not sure if he wanted applesauce on these cheeseburgers or anything like that, but essentially that they were just going to go get food from a place over in California called Mel's Diner, somewhere that David James says he had been a number of times before. And so David James had said during this that he had driven over to Mel's Diner. D-Rock was riding shotgun, i.e. in the past.
Now listen closely. We talking about Diddy. We talking about P. Diddy, the motherfucking female ass kicker. Female ass kicker. And we all know personally, Diddy only fights women. We know damn well P. Diddy do not fight no men, right? Listen to this.
Passenger seat. And then D-Rock said to David James, that's that mother effer Suge Knight. So then they get out of the car. D-Rock said to Suge Knight specifically, what's up? It's me, Biggie's boy. You're in my city. And for a lot of people who may not know, there was a huge East Coast versus West Coast beat, or it's kind of Bad Boy versus Death Row Records. Obviously, Suge Knight and Tupac on one side, that being the West Coast, Diddy then going by Puff Daddy, Puffy at the time, and Biggie, Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G., whatever you want to call him, kind of represented the East Coast. So the beef goes back for decades at this point, because again, this happened in 2008, but still, it kind of ranged true a little bit today as well. But around this time, David James has said they went inside to order some food, and then more SUVs arrived. And then he saw one person actually hand a weapon. This is what David James had said while he was under direct, hand a gun to Suge Knight. And D-Rock had told David James that we have to go back. And so what did they end up doing? They went back to Diddy's home. And so once they arrived back to Diddy's home, Diddy and Cassie were arguing outside, David James explained. And Cassie was essentially telling Diddy not to go down there, not to just go and, I guess, try to confront Suge Knight, allegedly. And so what ended up happening, according to David James, is that D-Rock
Now, who believes that Diddy went to go confront motherfucker Suge Knight? All he was known for is confronting women. So how the fuck did he go confront Suge Knight? And what the fuck would he be doing? How is he riding with 3 guns on in the car on his lap? Who the fuck does that? We don't even do that in Chicago. Diddy ride with 3 guns on his lap? Hold on now. Make it make sense to me. I'm just saying.
Diddy and David James all went to find Suge Knight in his lap while he was riding in the backseat of the car, but that David James had driven back to Mel's Diner. It took about 10 minutes to get there, and essentially they were going to confront Suge Knight. But what ended up happening is once they got to Mel's Diner, there were no more SUVs when they had returned, and that Diddy actually told David James to kind of circle around, see if they could find Suge Knight anywhere. And this is where David James is essentially like, this is the first time I thought my life was in danger. He really possibly thought that a shooting was going to go down, a big confrontation, that this really could get possibly bloody and terrible if, you know, those two were to kind of come to a head. But David James says that this was essentially the reason that he quit. He didn't like that his life was in danger. He said he ended up giving a 6 months notice shortly after, so that way he could train the next personal assistant to come up. And he said by May of 2009, because again, this incident happened in fall of 2008, by May of 2009, David James was no longer interested in working there. He didn't want to even go off to other different ventures, kind of in the Diddy sphere, because he says that he was offered other jobs in other kind of departments between, again, that Diddy sphere of all just the different business endeavors that he was working on at that time. But he said no, he didn't want any part of it, and left his job position in May of 2009.
And what happened on cross-examination? Because this is a key witness, right? This is another member of Sean Combs' inner circle. I'm sure we're going to have a lot more who testify, maybe a possible chef who will testify, maybe go to the forced labor allegations. But what had happened on cross-examination, real quick?
Yeah, as far as cross-examination goes, this was done by Mark Agnifilo. And Mark Agnifilo was really kind of trying to pinpoint as far as just what happened and what occurrence in this type of chronological order. And then at one point, Mark Agnifilo was like, did you speak with the government this morning being as far as today? And David James, while on the stand, was essentially like, I can't recall what was talked about just this morning between federal prosecutors and himself. But essentially, the prosecutors were telling him what to kind of expect.
A lot of this sounds crazy. I don't know about y'all, but a lot of this case sounds real crazy to me, right? Sounds real crazy. So let me tell you, let me put this last little part out here. Now, they went on saying that Cuddy, this is what they said during testimony. They said that, Cuddy, you told the courts that Cassie played you and you had no clue. You had no clue that Cassie was playing you. Imagine that. He had no clue that Cassie was playing him during his little time that he was with her, which only consisted of like maybe a year and a half, I think. and he thought that Cassie was just really fully with him and his and only his woman. He didn't know that Cassie was still fucking with Diddy, allegedly, right? My question is, I feel he thought Diddy did it. Then why he didn't make an insurance claim and say that he thinks Sean Combs did it and blew up his car, right? Why you didn't do that then? You thought you was scared of Diddy? I don't see why any man should be scared of Diddy. He don't do nothing but fight women. That's just my personal opinion. I ain't seen nothing about him actually fighting no men. Only alleging that he got damn it what rolled up on Suge Knight, 3 guns in the car. Like Suge Knight ain't walking around, ain't got 100 different 50 niggas around him with guns. This is crazy. So Kid Cudi mentioned that cops did not follow up and he and Cassie fell out. So there was no forced entries at Cudi's home when Diddy came over there. Like I said, the door was left unlocked. And the attorney Steele, he said to Cudi, you got played by the same person who played P. Diddy. That's Cassie Ventura. So y'all get it? Are y'all putting this thing together with me? I want y'all to stay updated. I want y'all to help me put this thing together. Because there are some things that make sense and certain things that just don't make sense. And I'm not trying to look at all this from a street aspect of a point of view or anything like that. I'm just trying to state the facts, and I want to go over and I want to find the truth. That's it, and that's all. We're looking for truth and facts. Nothing in between. We ain't no ifs, ands, and buts. Ain't nothing about what the fuck you thought could have been done, should have been done. Really, you know what I'm saying? It's not about what we think would happen, though we know how things would go down if it's if it's somebody else. Because if it was a black female, we already know that bitch would have came to his crib. She'll be at Diddy's front doorstep. You bitch, you nigga, you just blew my motherfucking man's car up. What the fuck? She'll be over there busting out windows, bringing 50 niggas with her, whatever. She'll be over there busting. I'm talking about busting the whole crib up. She'll be around there. She'd have been set the whole crib on fire. You seen what that girl TLC did to that football player, right? Okay? Cost her whole damn career. So what do you think? So what you know what happens when black women lash out and go and do this to these celebrities and stuff like that? Come on now. So ain't no way I'm gonna believe that just because they add in all these separate and different entities about this case, then I'm just gonna believe that this is not a woman just that a woman is scorned. There is a lot of stuff going on during this trial that shows that Cassie was scorned. I'm just putting it out there. Like I said, I'm not taking Diddy's side, y'all. I'm just keeping it 100, like I always do. That's it. But there's a lack of proof in this evidence. I see how they're trying to add on things and build to this case so they can get and prove the racketeering of arsonists and everything. They want to get that because they got to get that racketeering charge in there in order to give him some real time, right? We know that. Or the sex trafficking. But hell, what can you say? And y'all ain't proved that he purchased no flights with his own credit cards. Even when the private jet was flown and bought and everything, you know what I'm saying, to go kick it for Cassie's birthday, which he didn't stay at. Okay. Y'all heard? And it wasn't no. I mean, come on. Ain't no. Ain't no proof of that he was sex trafficking or nothing like that. No women from going to go kick it with Cassie on her birthday or nothing. Where we at, people? Use your common sense. We must not let this smoke glass or this motherfucking media sabotage this case like that and make us and believe that this is something else other than just a domestic violence and a scorned woman. I have to be honest about that. We can't just let them do that because there's more to it. This is way beyond. This is some bullshit right here. What I'm seeing. Y'all type it in the chat. Let me know if y'all can prove arsonist. Where is the arson? Just because Kid Cudi car got blew up, you can't even prove that he did it or directed some. They did it, or he directed somebody else to do it. You're not proving that. They got to prove this. Okay, you got to prove this about this woman who allegedly put this cocktail bomb in this man's Kid Cudi's car. Hey, the feds got all the answers. We don't know unless some of this evidence is concealed and not open to the public or whatever. You know, I'm just speculating. I'm just saying. That's all. We can only do the same thing. And speculate. That's it. We can't say it's, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just being honest. We can't say it's indefinite. We can't. Gotta be honest about it. Gotta be honest about it. Right? Wouldn't y'all agree? I would like to think so. So before we get out of here, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe to the channel. Okay? Please do so. I appreciate all y'all for rocking with me. Those who come over here and listen to me go on and on and on and ranting and talk shit, doing what we do over here with your boy Diddy Wow, because y'all know everything is always good vibes only. Y'all want me to drop that link? Anybody want to come up? Because if not, then I'm not going to even, there's no need. I mean, what? Anybody would like to come up? Please do so. Let's talk about this. Anybody would like to come up? Please hit that link right there. That's in the chat. I just dropped it. There we go. Okay? Tell me what it is. What y'all think? What do y'all think? Do y'all think P. Diddy innocent? Now, I ain't gonna say, me personally, I'm not gonna say the man innocent. I know he's not fucking innocent. There's no way possible he could be innocent, okay? And all y'all that's in the bushes or whatever, make sure y'all please hit that like button. I'm trying to keep everything in the algorithm. Anybody want to come up, pop on in, hit that link. Let's do it. Let's get to it, okay? Let's get to it. Now, like I said, the man is not innocent. Ain't no way. Not by far. You can't put your hands on a woman and beat up all these times like that and then be presumed innocent. Though, we have to keep in mind, this woman has been paid a hell of a lot of motherfucking money. Shit, I'll take a few ass whoopings for 30 mil. I'm gonna be honest with you. Now I ain't gonna just stand there and let you whoop my motherfucking ass, but I'll tell you, and I'm only 5'4". I'm gonna fight you back. Okay? But even being 5'4", okay? Yeah, I'll take them ass whoopings. I ain't gonna front for 30 mil. Shit, I'm down with it. Let's go. Let's get that shit. Let's get that shit on the go. Let's, like Jim Jones say, let's get in the ring, goddammit. Let's get in the ring, nigga. Put the gloves on. Let's get in the motherfucking ring. Let's do this shit. I ain't gonna hold back. At my age and all, I don't mind. Just give me a couple of weeks to motherfucking get this shit in shape. You know, and we can do it. I'm ready. Because it ain't gonna go down like that. It ain't gonna be easy. I guarantee you. But I'll take that ass whooping for 30 mil. Who won't take that ass whooping for 30 mil? Put it in the chat. What? Go ahead and lie if you want to. Because I'm going to put your ass on motherfucking blast. I guarantee. Stop playing with me. I promise you. I promise you. I ain't lying. That's a lot of motherfucking money. And she got money on money on top of that. Come on, man. Let's be for real. That's a lot of motherfucking money. Okay? I'm just being honest. But like I said, I appreciate y'all for coming by and rocking with me. Until then, tomorrow or the next day, I'm gonna try to come back, keep y'all updated once again. But until then, we out of here, y'all. Much love. Okay?
Escobar season has returned.
It's been a long time. Been a long time coming. It's life or death with me, man. But you know, there's no turning back now. This is what makes me. This is what I am. Feel me?
You can hate me now,
QB,
but I won't stop now.
real niggas,
Cause I can't stop now.
brave
You
hearts.
can hate me now,
Come on.
but I won't stop now. Cause I can't stop now. You can hate me now. You can hate me now.
Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Don't hate me. Hate the money I see. Clothes that I buy. Ice that I wear. Clothes that I try. Close your eyes. Picture me rolling. Sixes. Money folding. Bitches. Honeys that swollen. The richest. Knives get in ya. Most critically acclaimed Pulitzer Prize winner. Best storyteller, thug narrator, my style's greater, model data, big threat to a lot of you haters, commentators, ringside crowd, watching my paper, almost a decade, quite impressive, most of the best is in the essence, but it's rap shit that I stand for, expanding more to the big screen, Bill Gates dreams, but it seems you'd rather see me in jail with steak greens, brought me off the scene fast, but good things last, like your favorite MC, still making some mean cast, first rapper to bring a platinum plaque back to the projects, but you still wanna hate, be my guest, I suggest,
Money is power. I got millions of dollars on salary.
do it now.
You can hate me now,
I won't stop.
but I won't stop now.
Can't stop.
Cause I can't stop now.
Now,
You can hate me now,
do it now.
but I won't stop now.
Come on,
Cause I can't stop now.
come on,
You can hate me now.
do it now.
You can hate me now.
Do it now. I told you, do it now.
Let's go.
You wanna hate me, then hate me. What can I do but keep getting money? funny, I was just like you. I had to hustle hard, never give up until I made it. Now y'all saying that's a clever nigga, nothing to play with. Hate on me, I blew, but I'm the same OG. People warn me, when you on top, there's envy. Took my niggas out the hood, but you doubt on us. Saying we left the hood, but can't get it out of us. My bad, should I step on my shoes, give them to you? Here's my cars in my house, you can live in that too. Criticize when I flow for the street. Hate my dress code, Gucci this, Fendi that. What you expect, ho? Nickname Esco. Took this game to its threshold. Best flow, I bet the whole US know. Try to make it like you the realest, but who the illest? Think we all know the answer to that. Cause niggas feel us, right?
You think I'ma come this far and let you niggas stop me now?
Do it now.
You can hate me now,
I won't stop.
but I won't stop now.
Now.
Cause I can't stop now.
Do it now.
You can hate me now,
I hate you too.
but I won't stop now.
You can hate me now.
Cause I can't stop now. You can hate me now.
You can hate me
Do it now.
You can hate me now.
Do it now.
I like this. I like the way this feels. Let's go.
It's a thin line between paper and hate. Friends and snakes, 9 millies and 38s. Hell or the pearly gates. I was destined to come, predicted, blame God and blew breath in my lungs. Second to none, wicked turn wives to widows. Shoot through satin pillows, the desolate one. Took a little time to claim my spot. Chairman of the board until this game stopped. And I side with the Lord, ride for the cause while driving niggas shot at my doors. Plotting, I'm sure they catch me with their glocks to my jaws. Tried sticking me up, but I flipped on these ducks. Instead of me, ambulances were picking them up. Niggas fear what they don't understand, hate what they can't conquer. Guess it's just the fury of man became a monster, on top of the world, never falling. I'm as real as they come, from day one, forever balling. Come on. It won't stop. It won't stop. Never.
You can hate me now,
Come on.
but I won't stop now. Cause I can't stop now.
Now, now,
You can hate me now,
now,
I hate you too.
but I won't stop now.
Come on.
Hate me now.
Cause I can't stop now.
Hate me now.
You can hate me now.
Hate me now.
You can hate me now.
Come on, niggas.
You can hate me now,
Come on, niggas.
but
Do
I
it
won't
now.
stop now.
Get this shit over with. It ain't gonna never stop,
I can't
niggas.
stop.